Welcome to the audio of the non-religious spirituality book, Happy Soul, Hungry Mind, a modern-day parable about practical spirituality. Chapter 19, Path Forward. Rishi sat back down on the plush sofa.
This is much better.
Travis settled in.
So when did you first meditate?
It is a long story, Travis. It starts all the way back in my childhood.
Well, I'd love to hear it.
All right. My father was a devout follower of a Swami in India. And my mother would sing devotional songs as she did her chores. I can still feel the feelings of bliss and peace from her songs.
That sounds wonderful. You sure had a religious family.
It was more spiritual. As Hindus, we followed the traditions. My dad, however, would search the philosophical questions. Who am I? Why am I here? I used to enjoy listening to his discussions with his friends. I would watch my dad meditate often, completely lost in meditation. As a family, we would go to the large public spiritual discourses of tens of thousands of people. When I was young, the discourses were difficult to understand, but as I entered my teens, they began to make sense.
Okay.
I started meditating on my own. My father didn't push me to do it. I guess my mom and dad had created the right environment. I must have been only 15 years old. In one of my meditation sessions, I had a deep meditative experience.
Just 15?
Yeah. Time went by in a mere blink of an eye. When I got up, I was in a trance, as if the whole world had become peaceful and surreal. I left the room and joined my family for dinner. I didn't share with them what had happened. I felt as if I was floating. I knew then that whatever the gurus were talking about was real. I remember that incident as one of my strongest meditative experiences.
Well, I know we're not supposed to compare, but can you describe in detail what you experience in meditation, please?
Sure. When I sit for meditation and my mind is completely still, I experience stillness and peace, which leads to pure bliss. When my mind is silent, so are all its worldly addictions. At that moment, I am completely free. It's the most beautiful thing on this earth.
Wow.
That feeling, that experience is more sweet, more, I don't even have a word to describe it, more everything than anything else in this world. More than my first job offer, more than the first time I fell in love, more than the day of my marriage, more than the first time I held my newborn daughter in my arm. And I promise you that everything that I've described to you was really, really cool. But this is extraordinary.
You're kidding me.
No, I'm not kidding. This blissful experience is indescribable. And it takes me in its arm like nothing else does. If only all I want is to be lost in that experience. Is the truest of all experiences.
Rishi closed his eyes, slumping back into the sofa. Talking about the experience had made the experience come alive for him. He let himself be still and became completely peaceful. Travis saw a faint, sweet smile on Rishi's face, with his head tilted upward just a little. He looked blissful. Travis thought about how things come together in life, how he had met Rishi after 5 years, and how the discussion had become so deep. He remembered his son Nathan. However, it did not seem to cause as much pain as the day before. Rishi slowly opened his eyes. He smiled gently, like an author who had written another important chapter in his book. Travis smiled, feeling the gentle bliss emanating from Rishi.
I'm sorry, I was lost.
Travis nodded to indicate it was all right. He could tell Rishi was still in the moment, even though his eyes were open. Rishi smiled and gestured, inviting Travis to resume.
So this blissful experience, it's different than the other wonderful moments of your life?
Rishi picked up his glass of water and after taking a sip said,
Those were ecstatic moments. I remember when I received my first job offer. It was for $35,000. And as a poor student, that was a king's ransom to me. I felt I was in heaven, as if my feet were not on the ground. An incredible amount of joy.
Well, I felt the same when I landed my first investment. I couldn't stop thanking my investor.
Nice, that's nice. I felt the same when I saw Suchi for the first time. I fell in love at first sight. I can still remember the tingling I felt when I would be with her in those days.
Travis smiled.
How romantic.
That feeling and the feeling when Priya was born, they're all out of this world feelings. Incredibly joyous moments, incredibly beautiful, amazing moments.
So how would you say that they are different from the bliss you experienced?
Those moments had joy and excitement. They had huge spurts of energy. I wanted to dance in the streets, dance on rooftops, dance holding hands. Just an expression of love and delight at the world and the wonderful emotions in my heart.
Travis smiled.
The bliss I experience is not energy. It's not excitement. It's contentment. It is peace. I do not grin and dance. I just smile and smile. I feel as if I'm on a high. I feel as if the entire world is such a beautiful place. It feels deep and internal. Unlike the moments of joy in my life, my mind is not racing. I don't feel as if I need to do anything. I just want to be suspended in air, free floating, no desire compelling me to do anything. Completely without worries, completely without judgment. No desires, no wants, no needs for anything or anyone. Just chill. That's right. Just chill.
Rishi smiled.
Just chill. As if you're on the most beautiful beach and you're completely happy with yourself.
I want to be on that beach.
I kid you not. It is a beautiful, beautiful experience.
What's the problem then? Why aren't you in that state all the time? Why do you talk about
My shortcomings and struggles?
Yeah, you know how to get there. Why not stay there?
I wish I could. I'm still figuring it out. You can be blissful, but eventually, well, at least for me, it wears out. And you return to this world, and then you have things to attend to.
So should you go to the Himalayas?
Well, no. I return to this world, the material world, because I have things to do, and because I want to. I can't imagine being in the Himalayas all the time. My mind needs engagement. I can't just cut myself from the world. That's the push-pull between spirituality and the world. And frankly, I'm trying to figure out how to weave them together. I truly believe you can be spiritual while engaging in this world, fulfilling your obligations to your family and friends and to your own self. Gosh, I hope I'm not wrong.
Oh, so you want to have your cake and eat it too?
Rishi smiled.
Yeah, well, and it's interesting that you say that, but I really believe it can be done. If I meditate regularly, the experience will become richer. It will last longer, and there will come a time when I'll be fixed in the blissful state. It will never wear off. I don't know how many years of regular meditation it might take, but I'm certain that is where this leads.
You mean the path to nirvana?
Yes, all signs point to it. If you read the experience of the ancient sages, they all describe it. This is what the ancient Indian sages described as self-realization and Buddha describes as nirvana. The point where your experience of the soul is so strong, you're in permanent and endless bliss.
I don't mean to be skeptical. You're so sure about the path of meditation and how it leads to ultimate and infinite happiness, but you aren't there yet? How can you be sure you'll be able to achieve it?
Well, I can feel it. I can feel it coming. Just like someone who goes to the gym and sees his muscles develop, he or she knows they're on the right path. And if they persist, they'll develop a well-toned, highly muscular body.
Gotta be persistent.
Yes, got to be persistent. I wish I could truly become persistent and overcome all the hang-ups in my mind. If I break free from my hungry mind, I'll be on the journey of my life.
My good wishes are with you, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you. I need your blessings and good wishes. Please pray for me.
Rishi pressed his hands together and bowed his head slightly.
Absolutely. And please, pray for me too, Rishi.
Rishi nodded.
I will. I absolutely will. As you experience spirituality, your mind moves away naturally from the temptations. I should use the word distractions. When I meditate regularly, my urges become lesser. That's why I'm not too worried about my deeds. As long as I meditate regularly, my so-called temptations will evaporate away. It affects every aspect of life, including my deepest urge to make money. It doesn't hound me as much. I know I still need to make money and go to work, but I'm not on the edge. I trade stocks in a better frame of mind. My fear is lesser, and I make fewer bad decisions.
So spirituality distracts you from the distractions.
Interestingly said.
Rishi tapped his forehead.
Many scriptures talk about controlling the mind. They say control the senses so you don't get caught in the material world. But that's an awfully difficult thing to do.
No kidding.
The mind can't be controlled, but can be redirected until the time you train it to be quiet.
I know all about redirection. I used to play video games non-stop, and my parents yelling at me made no difference. Then they devised the idea of getting me involved in basketball. It changed my life, made me focus.
I didn't know that.
Yep, I played basketball through college and then got interested in computers. The rest is history.
Travis, my biggest regret in life, my biggest regret is that I haven't meditated every day. If I had, my life would be entirely different. It would have been 1,000,000 times richer. I would have enjoyed every moment of my life, enjoyed life with my family, instead of living in a frenzied rat race.
Isn't that really sad? You're describing my condition.
You know, I have eaten dinner with my family practically every day of my life. And yet I wasn't there. I was there physically, but not mentally. And for what? I feel I have missed out my entire life. I miss my family. Now life has just slipped past me.
That's not true. You have the entirety of the rest of your life in front of you. Even if you're going to live for only one more day, you must be enthusiastic about it. Life hasn't slipped you by. Every day is precious. Ask me, I'd do anything to get one more day with Nathan.
Rishi lowered his eyes, slightly ashamed.
You're right, Travis. I need to practice what I preach and stop complaining. I need to stop living in the troubles of my past and look forward to making every day worthwhile.
You know that already. There's something not working for you.
You're very perceptive. My challenge is not that I don't know how to transcend the spiritual and the worldly matters. My challenge is the lack of discipline. I need to meditate regularly. And that's my biggest fear for you too. Will you be regular?
Why aren't you regular? Too much work?
Yeah, I'm busy, but
Rishi admitted.
sometimes I don't feel like meditating.
Really?
Travis had a surprised look. Rishi nodded his head, partially disappointed with himself.
Yeah, believe it or not, I preach meditation to everyone I meet, friends, colleagues, even the bartender, and yet I don't do it.
You mean do it regularly?
Rishi felt a huge weight on himself.
Yes.
Why don't you?
Rishi shook his head.
Sometimes I just don't feel like it. I'm happy and I feel I don't need it. There are days when I'm plain lazy. It feels like a chore. I'd rather wake up in the morning and not meditate. I'd rather read the news or watch TV.
Well, that's okay. Is that so bad?
Well, the problem is once I break the pattern, I can go many days without meditating, sometimes weeks and even months. That's when things begin to break down. Soon, I get irritable.
So you struggle with that?
I do, and it's difficult. Then I have to bring myself back to the regiment and start meditating regularly. After a few days, I begin to calm down and feel better again.
Travis moved his hand back and forth.
It's a seesaw.
Yeah, meditation always gives, but I have to show up to receive.
Rishi reminded himself he must stay consistent.
How can you be more disciplined?
That is the $1,000,000 question. Look at me. I should exercise more. I know that. But I don't, at least not often enough.
You look fine though, my friend.
I need to do more. Then I look as fit as you.
You know, that's never going to happen.
Fair enough. All right, Travis.
Well, I thought you said though that meditation is enticing, that it'll pull you in.
Yes, it does. And it becomes richer as you do it regularly and continuously. But you know this, any cycle can be broken. And that has been my challenge. That's why I like talking to anyone I can find about all of this. It puts me in the mood and reminds me.
Rishi paused to reaffirm his resolve. He closed his eyes and felt the vibrations in his body he always felt after good meditation sessions.
Thank you, Travis. Thank you for allowing me to talk to you about spirituality. Thank you for listening to me. And thank you so much for pointing out things that are so obvious, and yet I ignore them.
You're welcome, but you're the one that's helping me.
We're helping each other. I need someone to talk to. I need to do this every day so I can be reminded.
You need a gym buddy.
Travis was pleased with his suggestion. Rishi smiled.
You're right, I do. Will you be my gym buddy?
Travis hesitated.
I know you're in California.
Well, maybe you need to form a group in Houston of like-minded people.
Yeah, there's even a Sanskrit word for it. It's called Sat-sang. Satsang has two parts. Sat, pronounced Sat, and Sang, pronounced just like the word sung. Sat means good or truth. Sang means company.
Maybe I should start a satsang in San Jose.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure there are many groups already existing.
But they'll have their own beliefs, won't they?
Rishi nodded.
That's true.
I need a group of meditators who don't talk too much.
Ooh. Oh, I'm sorry with all the talking.
I didn't mean you, my friend.
Travis gave Rishi a chastising look.
I know. Which is the same hesitancy I have. I don't want to sit and debate ad nauseum about religion and philosophy. I want to interface with people who are calm and help each other progress through quietude. It's difficult to find people who aren't going to force their religious beliefs on you, who are simple, sincere, and interested in true spiritual progress.
I know what you mean. People who are open, not too rigid.
Rishi leaned forward.
Yes, people like you. Every discussion of ours, Travis, has left me with a greater sense of peace.
Maybe we should talk often on the phone.
Please, I would like that. Would you be able to? Can you find the time?
Going to make it a priority. I'll schedule a call every week if that helps.
Man of action.
If you don't put it on the schedule, it won't happen.
Will you put your meditation on the schedule too?
Yep. Aren't you?
Man, you're tough. I definitely will. Though I should say this, I want to get to the point where I am in a meditative mode all day, regardless of whether I'm at work, in a meeting, or I'm at home on the weekends.
You can do it if you put your mind to it. Oops. If you take your mind out of it.
Yes, I can.
Rishi felt enthused and excited about the future, a feeling of security, knowing he had a soul with whom he could share his deepest thoughts and get due understanding, consideration, and encouragement.
A peaceful mind transmits positive energy to the people around and to the universe as a whole. As more people find peace within, the world around us will change.
There needs to be a meditation revolution.
Rishi looked at Travis curiously, his eyes twinkling.
Where everyone on earth meditates, from kids to senior citizens.
Rishi closed his eyes.
You know what, Travis? If a majority of the people on earth meditate and experience their peace, earth will indeed become heaven.
Meditate, meditate, meditate regularly. Quiet my hungry mind. Let my happy soul shine.
Rishi touched his heart and smiled.
Meditate, meditate, meditate. An undertaking that can transform the world. Do you remember the steps of the spiritual path?
Yes, transform our thoughts, mature our perspectives, quiet our mind, and our soul will reveal itself.
And through our soul, we shall connect with the infinite itself.
Now, you had promised to show me God in His full glory. You haven't forgotten, have you?
No, I haven't. I haven't. I do have something for you, Travis, that is, how should I say this, mind expanding. It's huger than huge.
End of chapter 19, Path Forward. Takeaways from this chapter. Just learn to be. Do not think, just be. If the majority of the people meditate and experience internal peace, earth will indeed become heaven. Meditate, meditate, meditate. Quiet your hungry mind. Let your happy soul shine.